Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Just Hangouts, where we talk about movies, games, and everything related to the nerdy stuff. I'm Blake, and I'm joined by my good friend Jonathan. Do you want to say hi?
Oh, hello. Sorry.
Just, you don't have to.
No, I momentarily lost focus. Hello, I am here. And I'm, yes, here.
But anyways, so basically what we're going to be talking about is some hot topics like the final Smash DLC character and who we think it could be. Hopes, predictions, anything like that. Also going to be talking about the new Pokemon game. Going to elaborate some final thoughts before it gets released, because I think it's coming out this week. Because it's like,
Is it this week?
I think it's this week.
Wow.
I think it's Thursday or something. So it's already November. I can't believe that. But and we're also probably going to touch on some aspects about the new Guilty Gear, because some new kind of mechanics got revealed and some of the stuff that people are talking about. So mostly game focused, but maybe we'll throw in some Joker discussion or other related things. But anyway, so let's start off with some simple stuff. Let's settle in. Let's get relaxed, because we just learned some crazy news. What have you been playing recently, Jonathan? Playing, watching, anything interesting on Netflix? Anything interesting on that PlayStation 4 or the Switch?
Well, I've been busy this week, so I haven't been watching much. My free time, I've been watching A New Girl with Zoe Deschanel. That's the only people I recognize in my top of my head. I know some of their names, but it's okay. You know, I think I'm on season 3, I think, or 4. Might be on 4. It's kind of that show that's just I put on when I'm trying to do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I think it has a good, kind of quirky sense of humor. My biggest thing before from watching like just a few episodes here and there was that my least favorite part of New Girl was New Girl, Zoe Deschanel's character. And I still feel that way. She's a little bit more goofy than the others, like the way her character's done. I think it's okay. I like all the other characters a lot more. However, I hate the way it handles its drama and its characters. Like the character Nick, who's like a schlub, kind of lazy. How many episodes do I have to watch where the characters call him a schlub and he's like, okay, you're right. I had to change my life and be more responsible. How many times do I have to see an episode that focuses on that? I'm like, okay. There's this side relationship that they've gotten together and broken up like 3 or 4 times. And they're ending up together at the end. But it's just like the show keeps pushing it off more and more. I'm like, okay, this is when they get together for sure. Nope, it's gonna happen probably end of season 4. Like, and then the main couple just broke up in season 3. Like, well, I know they'll get back together. But I hate the way it makes the characters regress. Because again, some characters, they kind of grow. Like, you're right, I should improve, become a better person. Then they regress. I'm like, I know The Office gets some stuff by the Jim and Pam relationship. People say, oh, that takes forever. It really doesn't. Just like 2 seasons, I think. 2 or 3 seasons for them to really get together. But those characters feel real because they progress. And when drama comes up that affects them, it feels earned because you've seen them grow and this really affects them. But these characters, they just like go back and forth all the time, which is it's a lot of problems with sitcoms.
Yeah.
But this one, I feel like recently it feels like it does it the most to such a degree. But I enjoy it still. It's fun.
I've heard good things about the show. I mean, it's been around for some time.
7 seasons.
Yeah. So I mean, I always heard about it. I never heard anything like negative, but I never heard anything like overwhelmingly positive. I heard positive, but nothing like like hot or cold, like in crazy amounts. Like,
it's nothing super special. It's just entertaining and fun. But that's really it for things. Well, let me add something from the backlog.
Okay.
The Jason Bourne trilogy. Saw that a few months ago.
Okay.
Finally getting to talking about it on the backlog. Still, I think one of the best action trilogies of all time. It's really good. It tells such a complete story from beginning, middle, and end. I would still say my rankings for the best. Before the first one was my favorite. When I saw all 3 last year. I would say 3 is probably the best. And how it brings everything together. Then 1 and then 2. 1 has the best still character focus on it. 3 best action. 2 probably most suspense. You know, they each have their own strengths. But that fighting choreography in 2, it's so bad. The way the editing is, it's awful.
Yeah.
One scene, it kept going back and forth. I was like, oh, the shaky cam. I was like, what is happening? But they fixed it way more in 3, thank God. But it's a great trilogy. 4, The Bourne Legacy, I saw that too. People don't like it very much. I like it a lot. I think, obviously, it doesn't compare to the other 3, but I think it's still a very fun movie. I think it has some better action than clearly 2, maybe even 3 a little bit. Has some of my favorite moments in terms of action. But that one's a fun movie, and I like it. Jeremy Renner does a good performance. He was taken away from... He was not given the Mission Impossible series, like I think was supposed to happen. If you watch Ghost Protocol.
Yeah.
Lots of... It seems like that's going to happen. Didn't happen. Bourne didn't happen either. Feel sorry for the guy a little bit. But... That one's good. 5, I haven't rewatched it because I hated that movie when I first saw it.
Oh, you're talking about Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Okay, just that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a reboot or is that a?
It's a sequel.
Okay, so it actually takes place in all the.
Yeah.
I've heard. Well, to touch on what you said, I mean, I've heard the legacy of the Bourne trilogy. Like I've heard that like the first one's like probably one of the best action movies ever made. I haven't heard anything crazy about 2 or 3. I remember when 4 came out, people didn't like it. Oh, that's all I knew is that
because new character and everything.
Yeah, and I think people were just maybe confused
Yeah.
by like what it was. And then Jason Bourne came out, and I don't know what there was drama around that movie, but I don't remember what it was. I think it had something to do with Matt Damon's either paycheck or like a contract where he. I remember someone telling me, and I don't know if this is true, but I remember someone telling me like he doesn't talk a whole lot in that movie. Because like he got paid like $1 million or like a crazy amount of money like for every line he spoke or something like that. Don't know if that's true, but that's what someone told me. So I don't know if that had anything to do with like anything at all. But I'm glad you're enjoying them. Or at least you're...
I never want to rewatch 5 because just real quick, the journey of Jason Bourne in the first 3 movies, it's like he has no memory, doesn't know what happened. And it's really a story about him finding answers and finding out who he was. But then it's also kind of like... It's not super reflective, but you see he has regret over those actions, the person he was. So it's finding answers, but it's also, in a way, freeing himself from his old life in terms of like remembering what he did, but also trying to get away from the people that want to either kill him or get him back into the program. It's definitely a story of him trying to escape it all, get away from all that, live his own life.
Yeah.
I think that was the conclusion out of 1 and 3 because it kind of ends both in that way. But then 5 brings it back where it tries to construct a narrative that Jason Bourne at heart or like in his head, whatever, he will always be a soldier. And so him leaving that life is impossible, that there will always be something missing from his life. And that's why like the characters try to bring him back into the program, try to convince him he can come back. And I'm like, that's not what the character was at all in the first 3. Like, he just wanted to find out who he was and get away from all these people. The 5 is like, no, he's a soldier at heart. He will never, ever get away from it. Even if, like, he does, he'll want it to come back. I'm like, I don't like that.
So that sounds like some producer was like, well, we need a way of starting a new trilogy.
Yeah.
Or something like that. We need a new way of making it feel like he's coming back and it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, he has to fight.
Yeah. But, like, of all the flaws in that movie, that was the one I went, no, I'm sorry. No, that, I think, completely goes against the character in the first 3. But, yeah, Bourne Trilogy, very good. For playing, really all I've been playing is Resident Evil Revelations. I just finished that this week as of the recording. It was very fun. Like I said in the last podcast, a lot of people put it on the lower rankings of Resident Evil games, but it was a lot of fun, I thought. I know it was supposed to be... Well, the mainline Resident Evil games are more action-focused. So Revelations, that's for the people who want more horror-focused. But really, it's still an action game. Like, it has some elements at points in the game. But overall, it is an action game. It's more straightforward than, the other ones, like 1 and 2. It's an action game, and I really had fun playing it. But, yeah, Resident Evil, as we've learned as I've gone through all the games, a Resident Evil game is very broad now, and what makes one, especially when we get to 7, it's like, is this really a Resident Evil game?
Yeah.
Is it not? But yeah, it's interesting going through all this, and I told you this off recording. I don't know, off video, but Kingdom Hearts story is crazy.
Yes.
It doesn't make sense. Really, no, kinda. Some places, I don't know. Resident Evil story though, that is whack. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just like, wait, okay, so this person is sided with them, and they want to do this, but this side wants to do this with the virus. I'm like, okay, it's weird.
Yeah.
It's a very weird and kind of convoluted story.
I mean, for me, I think that, well, to touch on what you were saying about the Resident Evil franchise being so crazy. Like, if you look at Resident Evil 1
Yep.
and Resident Evil 4 and then Resident Evil 7, you just add, like, a 3 to that number. Like, you get vastly different games. 1 is, like, a true kind of survival horror where you have to save with, like, ink ribbons and you're low on ammo, and it's more about kind of avoiding the threat, going through doors and managing, like, puzzles and stuff like that. Resident Evil 4, a little bit more lenient on action. There's still puzzle-solving elements and stuff like that, but, like, you still have the shop keep, right?
But
like,
those puzzles are also very straightforward. Like,
yeah.
there are many times I overthought the puzzle because I thought they'd be complicated, like RE1 or 2, but they were not at all.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like, and then beyond that, you have, like, the shop, like, the guy who sells you the weapons. It's like, you ain't got that guy in Resident Evil 1 or 2.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you just gotta find your stuff.
Yeah.
And then you go to 7, and it's a first-person game, number 1. And it has those survival elements and those puzzle elements, but it's like, it's so vastly different from, like, what the franchise started at than what it became, and then what it is now. So, I mean, Resident Evil kind of just can do kind of whatever it wants, and then,
Because now it's like bioterrorism groups and anti-bioterrorism groups going at it, and like Chris Redfield's like part of the BSAA, and he's going after these groups that want to. I'm like, wow, like
Chris and Jill used to just be like pretty typical cops. And
they were just
go
like
to a mansion,
higher level cops that were dealing with surviving.
A crazy story. Like, oh, people are getting eaten. We got to go investigate.
Yeah.
Oh shoot, there's demon dogs and evil mutants, and then now Chris Redfield's like literally like he's like. We were just talking about. He's like Jason Bourne.
Yeah, he's Soldier Man.
Yeah, he's
hero Soldier Man.
Yeah, there's a reason that people meme him for punching boulders. It's like, I mean, shoot, man, like he did that, and he can do that and stuff. It's interesting, and then I mean, like, it is interesting to see, like, watching Jill from the first game and then in Revelations, like you can see the threads, how like they are the same character, but it's like. It is also a jump. I see threads of the same character, but like, dude, when I was watching from Revelations, Jill was philosophical. Like, Jill was saying like some pretty crazy stuff. Like when spoilers, when the final boss dies, Jill I hope he finds more peace and death and good life. Yeah. I'm like, that did not sound like Jill. Because in Jill in Resident Evil 1 was like Barry, I need the shotgun.
That's
please.
what I
that's what I mean. Like, it's so
stream,
different, and it's like. And I mean, I know it's expected for a character to change, but like Jill kind of went from being like I don't know, not I don't want to say naive, but like maybe
fish out of water.
Yeah, like she just wasn't prepared for like the absolute horror she was encountering, and then now she's like teleporting monsters in the heart, and it's like, I hope he finds more. You know, what the heck What happened to Jill? Where is she?
No.
Like, and she looked visually different, of course, but that's to be expected considering. Things like, where's the hat?
Where's the nice hat?
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I know Chris, Jill, and Leon change a lot over the course of their games.
I mean, where Leon is also, I would say even more so than Jill and Chris, completely different character.
Yeah.
Where Leon's character in 2 was, he's kind of like a Boy Scout who's like, he believes in, the police code and justice and all that. And he has to deal with, Ada, who's like a spy and who who believes in the opposite of those things.
Yeah.
Where in 4, he's just like a cool badass who says cheesy lines and like makes fun of the bad guys, and he's just the coolest dude around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not Leon at all.
Yeah, I think I was watching like Cat Icarus' video on Resident Evil 2,
Mm-hmm.
and he showed like a clip from Resident Evil 4 where he's talking to the main bad guy. He's like, I've sent my right hand to come and deal with you, and he's like, your right hand comes off. I'm like, what the heck? Like that.
He's so like, yeah,
he's
I'm cool
like,
guy
yeah.
Leon. Huh.
Yeah, and I mean, and then I know, and then I was watching RE2, your playthrough of RE2, and he was like. And like he was still kind of that jokey guy, but it's like you see like what you said, like the Boy Scout elements where he's like, I want to do the right thing, like when that one guy is like his daughter's infected, right, and you see Leon like, no, we can't do this, we have to help them, like he's a nice guy, and then he changed a lot, and it's interesting.
Also, I was thinking of when the reporter is like, yo, get me out of here, man, and this whole thing is happening with zombies, and Leon says, I don't know. I got to talk to the chief first.
Yes, I remember that too.
Really, Leon. That's how much of a Boy Scout he is.
Yeah. Got to talk to the chief, and then that guy gets freaking head crushed by Mr. X and whatever. So, I mean, yeah. So Resident Evil as a franchise is very different. I mean, and to talk on the story a little bit, I agree with you. It's super confusing because, what started as being like, oh, evil mansion with some crazy conspiracy going on. Now it's like literal evil like pharmacy turned into bioterrorist. Like what? I still do not know what Umbrella really wants to do with this. Is it like an immortality thing? Because I mean, shoot, they keep bringing people back. Like
I think it get focuses more on in 5.
Because I know Wesker comes back. Like I know Wesker's alive.
I think we learn more of that stuff in 5.
Yeah, that's where I think that is 5 the good one or is 6 the good one?
5 is. Well,
the one that people like more. I know one of them is like, okay, yeah, this was not.
Yeah, well,
because one of them was like super.
Well, 5 is the one where like people are like, it's more action. Is it Resident Evil? Is it good? I don't know. But people like 5.
Yeah.
6 is the one where I think most people went.
Because it's the one that's like every single interaction is a quick time event.
Oh yeah.
I've heard of that. I know that much, but I mean, shoot, I just think it's crazy how wild things get, or it's like the last like I don't know 15 minutes of Revelations, I was like, what that looks like a giant space dragon, like what the heck are you fighting, like I mean, so then I see like the things like the Birkin transformations in RE2, and I'm like, oh well, I mean spiritually it's the same thing. I mean that thing eats a train, so it's like I get it, but god dang, like that's huge. Like that's weird.
Really a unique experience going through all these games.
Yeah.
I have enjoyed it so far.
It's been an experience to watch them, which you can also watch them on Twitch.
Yep. JP Zone 97.
Yeah, link in the description.
But just saying that off, in terms of character, I guess characters, like main characters, I would say the male and the female is separate because it's easier to list to do.
Yeah.
I would say a Leon favorite just because Leon's cool. RE2 is great.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, number 2, he's cool, and Barry, number 3, and Parker, number 4. Yeah,
Parker number 4.
It's not that hard of a list to do, but for females, I would say Claire's number 1, at least from 2, because
I knew that would come.
Claire is so cool in Resident Evil 2. I think she's great.
Claire is very cool,
Jill,
especially in that final boss.
Jill, I would say number 2, because from what I saw in 1 and Revelations, she's a cool character. She doesn't get a lot of focus in Resident Evil that much, but she is very cool. And 3, I would say Ada. I do like Ada. Some people don't like her, others do. I like Ada a lot.
I think it's because she's a frustrating character.
Yeah,
it's just
because she goes back and forth.
Because you like her, but like then she does something mean. You're like, God dang it, Ada!
Yeah.
Like,
but I do like that in the Ada Leon relationship. I think it's interesting. I can't remember any. Oh, and Rebecca.
I was just about to say where to.
I forgot about Rebecca.
To be fair,
Rebecca. Rebecca would be last. She's not a bad character. She doesn't like I know she does more in RE1, which I haven't played Chris's story for that. But she doesn't do much really. I know like RE0 is her game, but she kind of takes a back seat to Billy because Billy's the more interesting character in that one, where he was a soldier and his squad was ordered to kill all these people, and he went against it, and because he believes in that code and honor. And Rebecca's just kind of there, and I feel like she's kind of that character people like because she's cute and sweet and like someone you want to protect a little bit. But Rebecca's okay.
Yeah.
Like again, she's fine.
I don't know why Wesker likes her so much. I'll never get over that. Like, that was really weird.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. Little
I like
box,
how
his special box.
Yeah, well, I find it funny because it's like on one hand you got Wesker, in universe characters like obsessed with this girl, for some reason. It's never been revealed why. But then you got the creator who's like, no, I hate Rebecca. Like, screw Rebecca.
I don't know.
And I don't know. That's funny. That's like she's such a polarizing character.
Yeah.
In the game and like not in the game.
And then last would be Ashley from RE4, if she counts. But I know people hate Ashley. She's one of the most hated like game characters. It feels like she doesn't, but
you literally have to just protect her.
Yeah, she just protect her the entire time. I don't know. Like, is she annoying? Like, yeah, but am I gonna be on the forums like, Ashley, she's so garbage? Like, no, I mean, she's there. Yeah, you protect her, and is that annoying? Yeah. I don't blame people for hating her, but I'm not gonna lose any sleep over Ashley. Yeah. But for games, real quick from bottom to last, RE0 Revelations. I just had a really fun time. Revelations.
Wait, from top to bottom?
No, bottom to top.
Okay, so you're starting from the bottom.
Yeah. So last is RE0. Still a good game. Next, Revelations. Had a really fun time. More than I thought I would. I think it is a very good game that people should give a shot to. Next would be RE1. I enjoyed Revelations more as a game. That's just because it's an action game. More straightforward. Yeah. I don't get lost. And that's when I get more frustrated when I get lost in games. But RE1, I recognize is a very good game. I'm sure if I played more, I would get less lost and then like it more. Yeah. And just the atmosphere and all that is amazing. Mm-hmm. Next, RE4. Wait. Yeah. That was missing something. RE4, great action game. It holds up. It's great. And then RE2, remake. It's probably just gonna stay number one.
No, that makes sense.
Because it's so good.
Well, it is really good.
It's fantastic.
It's probably the best balance, I would say, of like RE4 style, where it's like behind, third person, and then RE1. I mean, in the original, of course, RE2, but RE2 is like a very similar. Like the original RE2 is very similar to RE1. But I think that like RE2 struck a really almost perfect balance of getting like mechanically, like it's satisfying, visually it's incredible, looks better than 7. And like still staying true to like its original, which is that's impressive. So.
Yeah, we talked about how it sticks to what people loved about it back in the day, but also updates for new people. And then I think just also, I would never say, well, maybe I'm going too ahead of myself. It does a good balance, I think, of action and horror, because it's mostly a horror game for like 80% of it. But when it wants to be like bombastic and more action focused, like in the boss fights between Mr. X and Birkin, it doesn't feel out of place, which I think is very impressive. And yeah, so that's my journey so far. I will be starting RE5 when this comes out. I probably would have started, I don't know, but I'm working on RE5 right now as you're hearing this. Co-op stream, because I hear that's just the best way to play RE5. People say by itself, RE5 is okay.
Yeah,
but I've heard that co-op, it's
a lot
really
more
good.
Fun.
Yeah. So that should be interesting, doing all that in an RE. Well, I know it's more action focused now. Yeah. But that'll be interesting to see. So I'm excited. Again, twitch.tv/JPZone97. I wish it was just JPZone, but there's a story behind that.
Yeah. That happens, my friend.
But yeah, sorry for going so long on that.
No, you're fine. You had a lot of stuff to say.
So that's all I have on what I've been watching and playing.
As for me, what I've been watching and playing is nothing. Actually, that's not 100% true. I've actually only been playing one thing, and that is Smash Brothers. But specifically, I was like, okay, well, I love online. I want to keep playing that, but I'm like, I'm going to wait a little bit, take a break, and I want to really buckle down. I want to finish Spirits Mode because I got the game like April, and I still haven't beaten it because I was like, I want to take my time.
Just for clarification, you mean World of Light?
World of Light, yes. Okay. I'm not 100%ing Spirits Mode because I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do that. That's really hard to do.
I was like, I'm not going to do that. It's a lot.
I want to, kind of, because I love this game so much, and I would love to 100% it, but I was like, let me just beat World of Light. So I beat World of Light, and I have to say that was probably, even though Subspace and Adventure Mode in Melee is like near and dear to my heart, and Classic Mode, of course, is Classic Mode. Like, I feel like World of Light is probably one of the, I will go as far as say I think World of Light is probably one of the best single player campaigns in any fighting game ever.
Right.
Like, I think
so better than Subspace.
I think so. Like,
Wow.
I love Subspace for being like such a unique like concept. Like, it's Smash Brothers characters who are traditionally mostly from platformers in some variation, in a platformer, but they're in Smash Brothers. It's kind of like a reverse thing. So I love Subspace. I love its story. I will never ever like the cutscenes in Brawl were, I love the cutscenes in Brawl. Like, I will never get over seeing the characters interact, and like one of my favorite ones is probably when Snake, Lucario, and Meta Knight all meet. And like Lucario takes the box off and Snake has the little exclamation. And it's so cool. There's so much style behind them. But I think World of Light was able to really like teach you how to play the game, like in a way that it made you like focus on doing the main thing you're going to be doing in Smash Brothers, which is fighting. So I think that like number one, it taught you like I think it taught you a lot about like items, because like a lot of spirits have like item incorporation. It taught you like the best attacks to use. It taught you what kind of stuff. Like, it was teaching, but it wasn't like 100%. Like, that wasn't like why people played it. It wasn't like a tutorial mode. But I feel like it still was able to like challenge you. Like, for example, I point to like the true final boss, where the first level is you platforming up to get to the final boss. Like, that's cool. And that's interesting, because like I don't think any other fighting game has ever really attempted something like that. The closest thing I think of is like Injustice or MKX, where you have to do like, what is it? What's the word? QuickTime events. Where you have to do like QuickTime events to like, you know, that's how you like fight in the world. But like Smash Brothers was able to like make, I don't know, like challenge your platforming perceptions at the same time. So I don't know. I thought that was really cool. I could be wrong about that, about it being the best ever, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's the best. And I feel like it was a real celebration of like Nintendo and like all the characters that are in this game. I feel like that did that really well. It was a little long though. I will say it took me 40 hours to beat it. About 40 hours. And I played it on hard. So for reference, it took me a while because some spirits were absolutely abysmal to fight. I think some of the worst ones were like Eggplant Wizard, who has like a dark pit and something else, and I hated him. It took me forever. There were a few others that just were absolutely just so hard. But the ending, I think, was just like seeing that true ending and hearing Life Flight and seeing that beautiful, like the spirits float into the sky, like I was just so cool. I thought that was really cool. So yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed. I almost cried because it was like I have like a spiritual connection to Smash Brothers. You have to understand, like Smash Brothers was like, if it wasn't the first game I played, it was like the second game I've ever played. So like I grew up like playing Smash Brothers, you know. So like seeing like Ultimate as an existing game, like that's a game that exists, and like seeing the final cutscene, like the first thought that came to my mind is like if I was like 12, this would be the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I'd be weeping because it's just so cool. Mm-hmm. But I'm not. I'm 22, and I'm almost weeping. I'm getting there, but it was really cool. So that was like what I was kind of thinking. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I would have liked it to be just a teeny bit shorter. It was really long, but I get that was like the purpose. They wanted to make sure that there was enough content. And the alternate endings are hilarious. The one where you only fight Galeem or Darkon was really funny. Like, because it was sad. Number one, if you fight Galeem and if you fight Galeem and you win, Darkon kills Galeem. And then right after, Darkon consumes the world in darkness and Mario dies. Like, you just see a scene of Mario like falling to his knees and falling over, and I'm like, oh my god, they actually just killed Mario, like, and nobody else does it. And I'm like, oh, yo, Mario's dead, like. And then if you kill Darkon, Galeem wins, and then he just does the burst of light again, and everything goes back to the start. I think, except Kirby's not rescued anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But the true ending obviously is the best one because they both die and everything gets set back to normal. So, but yeah, that's what I did. 100%ed it. I'm proud of that. I'm gonna keep bragging about it because it took a long time and it was a lot of fun. And I actually would not be opposed to doing New Game Plus because that was really fun.
All right. Yeah, I'm also one of the few people that seem to like Spirits Mode. Seems a lot of people don't. World of Light.
Yeah.
A lot of people seem to not like it very much or didn't play it at all.
Yeah.
I played it when I was sick for a few days, and that was all I did. So, I did also enjoy World of Light. I wouldn't go as far as say I think it's the best story mode, just because it is very fun. I think and interesting. I do agree it is a little long, even though it was the only thing I had to do. I was like, for the last maybe like few hours, I was like, this could wrap up.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's a lot of cool, unique fights, but like that's kind of it, except for the last like 2 big cutscenes.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't know. It's hard to say for a fighting game story mode.
It gets super repetitive after a while because after a while you're just like, I just want to win. But I did like. I don't know. I really appreciated like how well thought out everything felt.
Yeah.
There were some characters that were like
I loved seeing all the different spirits and seeing what fire they use and like what buff they got.
Yeah, like what abilities and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like it was cool to see them pay tribute to characters and show off their knowledge because some of them were absolutely crazy. Like I don't know, like there was a couple like there was a couple Metal Gear ones where I was like, oh my gosh, that's genius. Like the fact that they incorporated that stuff. I have to go through them and look through the spirit list again to give you like specific examples because I remember a couple of specific examples where I was like, that is so cool that they put that in there.
Yeah.
But I know I'm making a big statement by saying like best single player ever in a fighting game, but like I don't know. I thought it was fun enough where it was like cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, because it's hard to say because different story modes attempt different things.
Yeah.
Smash really just doesn't attempt to do a story. It's just like a lot of different fights.
Yeah, there wasn't really a story.
But like, but like taking aside the discussion of versus other fighting games, I just like Subspace better. So I feel like I did like the narrative pushing it forward, and I thought the platforming stuff was really cool. I know people kind of hate it nowadays.
Yeah.
But I love Subspace Emissary. Spirits is still very good though. Or World of Light. I still really enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. I love Subspace. Subspace was, man, I miss Subspace.
That made my childhood.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god.
Oh, you have no
this
idea.
This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
When I was fighting Taboo, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
I was fighting Rayquaza. That
was awesome. That was
what?
Really cool, yeah.
Where Fox just does his shield and hurts Rayquaza into the lake. Like,
that was really cool.
So cool.
Again, the cutscenes in Brawl I think they'll always be better than Smash Ultimate's cutscenes. Because like there wasn't a lot of them, to be fair.
Yeah. But they were so good looking.
They were really, really good. I love when Luigi's scared of the little Waddle Dees. Like he's just putting up his hands like in karate chop motions, and it's just so perfect. Like so, but yeah. So that's what I did. I just and now I just have to get the last reward or the last the challenges for the last page of the challenges for story mode. I just have to beat the first round of the final boss with Ganondorf without dying, which is easy for me because I actually really like Ganondorf, so I could do that. But that's what I've been doing, and that's about all. So, but speaking of Smash Brothers, which is a perfect segue, by the way.
It's a great segue.
We wanted to have a brief-ish discussion about who we could possibly think is this final DLC fighter. Mostly because we have 4 of them. We just got Terry Bogard, and Terry Bogard is super duper fun. First of all, do you have any thoughts on Terry you want to share?
I've only played him. I played him one night when playing against Blake. That's all the time I've had. He's very fun. There's gonna be a lot of combo potential. I can tell by seeing what people have come up with.
Yeah, Ken terrified me, but Terry scares me.
Terry's really cool. Terry's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So I really like the character. I didn't know who Terry Bogard was. But then, but I've always seen him. Like, whenever there was, a Capcom versus SNK cabinet, I'd see him on the side or something. I'd be like, Okay, so who is that guy? And I've always like known what he looks like. I just never knew his name or anything like that. But this game like makes me really, really, really like respect his style. He's got a great style. Like I think, and I think his Final Smash is the best in the game. Like just visually, like it's just so
Better than Mega Man's.
It's Mega Man's
No.
I love, but
Sorry.
like, dude,
No.
I don't know, man.
Sorry,
The
baby.
Buster Wolf is so
Sorry,
cool.
baby.
Like it's
It's
one
not
of
as
the
cool as Mega Man's. I'm sorry.
Mega Man's is. I would actually like to do to take a page out of Maximilian Dude's book and just look at all the supers, just rate them all because like they're all really cool. Like none of them are like trash. They're all really really cool.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? So yeah, I mean we obviously have all four of 5 of the DLC fighters, right? And we're moving on to the final one. And it could be anybody because now there's been like no rules, you know. So I mean, we'll have just a brief discussion. What do you think? Do you have any like well, first of all, who do you hope it is? Even if it's like the most unrealistic thing ever. Do you have a hope, like some character that you're just really really hoping gets in?
But I assume we'll talk about this next.
Yeah.
Or in a little bit. But for this season pass, I still think Sora or 2B would be a great addition in terms of the games they come from and the combat. I think their combos would work really well in Smash. I would say either of those two would be dream characters. I don't think they'll make it in. I really don't. But they would be really cool.
Yeah.
What about you, sir?
For dream characters, honestly, I have to be honest and say that I'm satisfied with the roster as it is right now.
God. Pick a
But
character.
but I'm picking.
Don't be that guy.
No, I'm just saying. I'm not saying like, oh, I don't have one because I don't care. Like, no, if I could get one, I would want Rayman because I feel like Rayman is a really unique character. Like, not just visually, but also ability wise. Like he had a great game on the PlayStation 2, Rayman 2, which is an awesome game. He had some great 2D platformers, Rayman Origins and Legends. Awesome games, a lot of fun, a lot of style. And I feel like Rayman just has a lot of charm, a lot of potential with the fact that he doesn't have any limbs. Like he just has hands and feet and body and stuff like that. Like that's really cool. That could make for some really interesting like long range attacks and stuff like that because he's known for throwing his fists and punching. It's really cool. So that's like my dream character. If I had to pick a second one, I feel like we've almost gotten everybody, but one thing I kind of hope is I kind of want we got SNK. We got an SNK fighter from Fatal Fury / King of Fighters. We got, the big boys from Street Fighter. We got Ryu and Ken. I want to see some Tekken representation. I have never played a Tekken game. I kind of want to. But I still think that Heihachi should be in this game. Like, Heihachi is just such a cool character on his design. Like, he's an evil crime lord. And it's just, come on, that's cool. Like, he's so iconic that, like, I feel like you gotta have Heihachi in there.
Yeah.
And that would mean, like,
it makes sense.
We got Tekken versus we got Tekken versus Fatal Fury versus Street Fighter. Like, that's impossible. And then, meanwhile, Cloud and Mario are there, too. And it's like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So. That would be really, really cool.
I agree. Cool.
But as for more realistic expectations,
yeah, like who do you think it will be?
Yeah, who do you truly think it will be? Is for me.
I think I had an answer, but I forgot.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, so I have a few theories. So my number one thing is I don't think they're gonna double dip in terms of developer representation. I don't see them being like, hey, here's Master Chief. And it's like, okay, Microsoft again. Like, I don't see them doing that. I don't see them going back to Square Enix or Atlas or anything like that. At least for this pack. Maybe in the second pack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
For this pack, I don't see it. So my thing is like, off the top of my head, I can't think of a single developer that made, like, unless I probably don't know them. But, so my thing is like, well, if I can't think of another developer, another huge developer that like makes a very long-lasting series of games, Japanese developer or American developer, I'm like, well, who have fans been clamoring for, right? And I think the most likely could possibly be Gino because he's been such a fan request for a long time up there with Banjo.
Wouldn't that also be Square Enix though?
But that's my thing is that he'll still be Square Enix technically, and I don't know if Nintendo's willing to do that. And that is what's throwing me off. But if I had to pick an absolute most likely choice, I feel like it would probably have to be. I don't know.
I think I might have had another option on the top of my head, like last time we talked about this. But I think Crash Bandicoot, I think, has a very good chance. I feel like with this, because it's, we got Banjo-Kazooie, I feel like it wouldn't be out of the question to get another, like, platformer type character. Well, I know you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
And Sony hasn't really gotten anything, so right?
Yeah.
And it's on the Switch and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like Crash would first off fit very well, but I think in terms of what we've gotten so far in this Fighter Pass, I feel like it makes sense to throw that as the last one.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would be hyped for Crash. I would be very, very hyped for Crash because I love Crash Bandicoot. But number one, I think the thing that he has actually from, because I was actually watching Game Explain's discussion on this as well, and they were talking about how they don't think there's going to be anybody from Sony because Sony's so like, no, our characters, mine, like no crossplay, no Nintendo, no, we don't want our games on your Nintendo trash, things like that. And it's like, so I don't know if Sony would be willing to budge on putting their character in Smash Brothers. So I feel like if a Sony character, I don't know, because like they say that, and I'm like, but I don't know, it's Smash Brothers, and Sony's not like the worst company ever. Mm-hmm. I feel like if it would benefit them in some fashion, they'd put a character in. But the thing that Crash has going for him is that he's not with Sony anymore. Like, he's cross-platform, and he's owned by Activision. And I feel like Activision would be like, yo, shoot.
Good point.
You want Crash in there? You can take Crash.
Is he owned by Activision?
He is owned by Activision.
Okay.
He is no longer owned by...
okay. I thought he was owned by Sony.
No, I think it's Activision. It should be. It's Activision. Yeah. Because
I
remember that.
If I would have said, Tracer from Overwatch as a almost, not a shoo-in, but very highly likely, I think. Yeah. However, with everything that's happened... I don't know about that anymore.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I feel like Tracer makes sense, but like, to put a character in Smash, I feel like they have to have a really strong legacy, right? And Overwatch is fairly new. I feel like if they were picking a Blizzard character, they'd probably shoot for someone who's like from maybe World of Warcraft or something. But I feel like Tracer also makes a lot of sense. Yeah. But you're right, with everything going on.
Joker doesn't have a long legacy though.
But his series has a long legacy, and they didn't pick. They picked Joker because he was the most relevant and the most popular from the Persona franchise. While at the same time, they made his stage basically a huge celebration of.
Yeah, but also
Persona.
but Persona isn't the most popular series though.
No, it's not.
That's why
Yeah, I mean, they could have gone with like.
I don't think you need that much of a big legacy. That's like if you bring Persona or Joker into the conversation.
Yeah.
Like Hero, obviously.
Huge legacy.
A huge legacy. Who did it once?
Banjo-Kazooie. Modest legacy.
Yeah,
like a lot of nostalgic legacy, I feel.
Terry, 100%.
Yeah, Terry has a huge... They spent a whole 40 minutes talking about his legacy, so it's like, that makes sense. There you go. Yeah. And then I think the Joker is an interesting one because he's not nostalgically legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But his series does have a long legacy to some degree. Not as big as Shin Megami Tensei, obviously, which is the series that it's kind of based on. So he's in kind of a weird spot where it's Joker's an interesting pick. Mm-hmm. And that's what I think changed the game for me because A, he is PlayStation exclusive, and 2, he's probably not the first character you think of when you think of Persona, but he kind of is now. Yeah. And that's the thing. Smash made him super iconic for the Persona franchise. Yeah. It made him the poster. Yeah. Now. And that's interesting because, for me, it'd always be Teddy.
No, I mean, that's not a bad
that's what I mean. You know what I mean? It's interesting. So, I mean, for the fifth one, I'm gonna go with, Crash Bandicoot as probably being my most likely choice because I feel like the Sony-Sega rivalry at that time when he was first, on the PlayStation.
It was, like you're saying, Sonic, Pac-Man, Crash Bandicoot, Mario,
all four.
Mega Man too, sorry.
Well, that's what I mean. You got the biggest platforming characters of all time. And no offense to Spyro. I think Spyro's out there too. But I think that Crash Bandicoot, I
mean, I would rather have Spyro, but I think Crash is a more likely choice.
Yeah. It's for me, it's when people say, I want Sub-Zero and Smash. I'm I think Scorpion makes more sense. Mm-hmm. It's just everybody knows who Scorpion is. Sub-Zero's like, yeah, he's great, but it's like, to me, he's like the Luigi of Mortal Kombat. Like people know him, but like if you're gonna slap like a Nintendo character on your product, it's gonna be Mario. So
Yeah.
So that's why Scorpion's on the cover of every single game. So I think Crash Bandicoot is the most likely, but I've heard some leaks and rumors suggesting Doom Guy. I don't know if that's his name.
I think it is. I forgot about Doom Guy. Yeah. That's not a choice I would be excited about. I think it'd be interesting, kind of cool. But like, I think Master Chief would fit that role, but I think
I agree.
Better.
I think Doom is responsible for being one of the most impactful and most that changed the first person shooter genre, probably the computer gaming genre overall. But I just don't know if like you can bring that character to Smash Brothers and have it translate like perfectly. Like, I don't know. I agree with you. I think Master Chief, if I wanted to have an FPS character, I would want Master Chief, because I feel like Master Chief has he has the beam sword, he's got like the crazy grenades, he's got like the shield thing that he can use, and like there's a lot that you can do with Master Chief.
I know some people might bring up Persona, like we just brought up.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think it's a controversial statement to say Doom as a series is more iconic than the character of Doom Guy himself.
Yes, I think so too. Like, I think Doom as a franchise is way more...
Yeah, I feel like Doom Guy doesn't have identity. Like, Master Chief has identity.
Yeah.
I don't think Doom Guy does. Where like, you think, oh, let me play that next Doom game. You don't think, I can't wait to see the adventures of Doom Guy. And like,
Doom Guy is just you.
Yeah.
It's literally just you.
Yeah.
For the most part. Like, I was playing Doom 2016, and there are moments where it's like, you see his character, like, I think in the very opening, like, he kicks the monitor out away and, like, or smashes it or something like that. He does something kind of cool. And it's like, but that's not, but, like, to me, it was like, Doom Guy is me. Like, I'm in here, and I have to shoot these bad guys. Whereas, like, Joker, when I was playing a bit of Persona 5, like, Joker still talks in cutscenes. Against whatever I would say, you know what I mean? Yeah, he does. Like when Ryoji, when like Ryoji's like, like screw that pervy teacher, and the Joker's like, pervy teacher, like question mark, like things like that.
Oh, it's
it's nothing crazy, but it's like he has a voice. He has it's not my voice. It's like, but Doom Guy doesn't say anything. Well, he the opening of Doom Eternal is like Doom Guy's walking.
Well, it also, that's the thing with Joker that's interesting. Like when he was announced, I remember you asking me, are you like super hyped? And I was like, I mean, I'm glad Persona is in Smash.
Yeah.
But the character of Joker, like Joker is you.
Yeah.
But of all the 3, I guess 4 Persona protagonists, Joker is the most, damn it, if you're going to be mad. If there are 5 main Persona protagonists. But of all the protagonists, I would say Joker has the most personality. Because like when you see him on the poster and all that, he has this identity to him, like,
yeah,
you feel like he is like a rebel, kind of going against society.
Yeah.
The other ones, you kind of go, okay, well, this is like 100% you.
Yeah. He's got some flair to him.
He is you, but yeah, like you said, he has flair.
Yeah. He has something outside of like kind of what you sort of have. Like he's still a character in the universe, even though it is used technically.
Yes.
It's hard to explain. It's hard to explain.
I think I would say to like.
I think it's because, like, number one...
I would say to a small extent, but yes.
Yeah, I think what the thing is like, Joker comes from a RPG where that's essential to, like, those games. Like, you have to feel like, you have to step into those characters.
In the cutscenes, he has his own flair. But for the rest of the game, it's you.
Yeah. So, but, like, I feel like... And that's the same case for Doom Guy or Doom Slayer. I don't know. Doom Guy sounds kind of silly to me.
Yeah, but
Doom Slayer sounds cooler, but like that's the thing though. He doesn't have really like a name. It's just they just call him Doom Guy because he's the guy from Doom, and it's like I don't know. Like, how do you carry those principles into Smash Brothers? I'm not opposed to it. I just think if we're getting an FPS character, I want Master Chief for me. So I'm not opposed to it. But my thing is like I kind of hope it's Crash Bandicoot because I like that idea.
Yeah.
I also again I'm surprised. What I am surprised at though is that Bandai Namco has gotten, even though they co-developed this game, they haven't gotten any sort of like representation outside of Pac-Man. Mm-hmm. Heihachi is a taunt, and it's like even the music. Like I'm really shocked that I'm really shocked that there's no like Tekken music. There's no other genres, like not even anything from like Pac-Man World. And it's like that's interesting that like they withheld this stuff. Like Heihachi's not even a spirit, so it's like to me it's like I feel like that just makes too much sense. They co-developed the game, and you know Tekken's part of Bandai Namco. Like, come on, we're right there. But on one hand, I know that Harada, the guy who's like in charge of all these Tekken games, he had some weird comment once on Smash Brothers. It wasn't on Smash Brothers, but like someone asked him about Tekken 7 about bringing like about making a game where it's like all the characters are here and stuff like that. And he said something like, "Don't ask me for Smash Brothers." And I'm not sure if he doesn't like Smash Brothers or anything like that. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean, so if I'm gonna go with a number one pick personally that I think has a realistic shot of getting in, I think Crash Bandicoot makes a lot of sense.
I would agree.
Yeah. So I mean, I think so. Both of us agree, like you know, Crash Bandicoot most likely, maybe like you know, has a better shot than most characters overall.
Yeah.
Overall, I think I'll be satisfied with whoever it is. I don't have any characters that I'm like I don't want them in. Like I can't think of any that like
Minecraft Steve.
I'm not even like against it. I just want to know what the heck you could possibly add to the character to make them.
I wouldn't like that at all.
To make
That's the
them
only
different
one I
from
wouldn't
Villager.
really not like.
I wouldn't be mad. I would just be confused because it's like, but we have Villager and Isabelle, and it's like I know those characters. I know Animal Crossing isn't the same thing as Minecraft, but it's like how the heck are you going to incorporate building in Smash Brothers? Like or crafting. Like I just don't see Minecraft working. Again, it's the same argument where we have like, you know, like Minecraft Steve is not really a character. He's kind of just like an avatar. He's you.
Yeah.
Know? And it's those characters that I feel like are hard to get in the game. But then again, Hero's here. But Hero still has, I don't know. Isn't it weird?
Does he?
I don't know. That's the thing.
Know.
I don't know. I feel like he has more. Like, I mean,
But also Dragon Quest, like, of all the characters that have been released, Hero makes the most sense.
Yeah. But isn't that...
Because how big his legacy is.
I just find it so weird. Like, when those characters get into Smash, where it's like, they're not really characters, they're you. And it's like, you know what I mean?
I mean, also, like...
Villager and,
well,
you know.
Fire Emblem characters, right? I mean...
Yeah,
I wouldn't say Martha or Ike, but like Robin and Corrin.
That is true.
They are, for the most part, you.
Yeah, that's true. And I find those characters so interesting because it's like they still have a moveset that makes sense and stuff like that. They have too much of a moveset that makes sense for all of those characters, Joker, Corrin, and Hero included. But it's like they're not like it's like you're not playing as them. You just are them in those worlds. It's very interesting. So. I mean, I'm not opposed. I'm not gonna rage and quit the game if Minecraft Steve gets in. I just don't see the character making sense. But I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. I don't know. I don't see. I mean, I'd be mad if a Fortnite character got in. That's the only one. Because I mean, what would you even call him? Fortnite shooter? I don't know what you would even call the character. Like,
they'd probably just call it Fortnite.
That's so stupid. But like characters like that are like just strictly topical. Like,
Minecraft Steve.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
They would say like
yeah.
that.
I don't even know if they call him Minecraft.
Steve.
Yeah, Steve. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just hope it's someone good. It's gonna be good. There's like a 95 out of 100% chance that it's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's like a very small like pinch of characters that I'm like, no, don't bring them in. So. But yeah, so I think that's, you know, I'm excited to see who it is. When do you think they're going to be released, this character?
Released?
Yeah, like when do you think we'll be able to play as them? They said February 2020.
Yeah, well, the question is, do you think we'll get another Direct in December, or the next one would be January?
I mean, I think there's one guaranteed for January, because the last year they didn't have one in January, I think, right? Or something like that, or this year I think. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this year.
I remember
this year they didn't, but last time they did.
I remember one year they were like, "Oh yeah, there's always a direct in January." And then January came and went. They're like, "Wow, there's no direct." I don't know. I'm gonna be straight up and say I don't know when Nintendo plans these things in terms of directs because like it's so mixed up. Where it's like, you know, like the Terry Bogard thing. It's like here on a random like.
Because like, could I see them doing a Direct December? Yes, I could, but. I think we will get one January. Like especially if you don't in December.
Yeah.
I think it mostly depends on that. If we get a direct in December, I think they'll say January. That's when they'll come. Or they always say the day of when they show. But actually, I can see that. That December, maybe they announce there'll be more info in January. Then January comes around, maybe with the direct, and then they release in January.
Yeah. My thing is, like, I think we'll get a trailer in the form of a Nintendo Direct. Like, in a Nintendo Direct. Probably, I think close to, like, mid-December, early December. Because I don't think they want us to sit around with nothing to be hyped about, Because, like, on the day that they showed off the gameplay for Banjo, they showed off the trailer for Terry. And they just, or an announcement for Terry. They basically said, "Here's the character's here. We're working on him." So I think they're going to do that again. They're going to say now in development, and then throughout the next coming months. And I think by sometime in February, we'll have the character.
Okay.
That's what I think.
I would think maybe in January.
You think you think they're going to give it to us early?
I think they might. I could see
that too.
I could see Sakurai going, I know we said to February, but like we're able to give it to you
today or whatever. Yeah. I would be
or
extremely
it might be like the end of January, and Sakurai I could see going, we said February, so this is like it's technically right before February, so we made it.
Yeah.
Like,
So I mean, shoot, if that happens, I would be extremely happy about that. I'm just going with February because I think that just makes the most sense. So I mean, but I mean, overall, I think that's good. I think that. How long are we going?
We've been going 56 minutes.
Should probably should. All right, so this brings up the next question, though, is what do you think about the next Fighter's Pass? Do you have any predictions for that or anything like that?
For the next pass, well, the question I want to pose, do you think it will be more third-party or just Nintendo first-party characters or like a mix of both?
I mean, I don't know because I feel like it would be... There is the comment that he said that Sakurai said during the Banjo stream where he said, "Hey, we're making more DLC," and he said something along the lines of, "I'm excited to include more worlds." Mm-hmm. So that makes me sound like they're all going to be third parties again, which is fine. But I think if that's the case, it's a little sad for people who wanted like Bandana D or like Dixie Kong.
Where's my boy Rex?
Oh yeah, but I don't see that's I feel like Rex still makes sense because he's not 100%.
I'm still holding on hope.
Yeah.
I will record myself screaming at when he gets announced if it happens. Yeah. I think there is still a chance, but I don't want to have my hopes up. I don't know if they're doing third party or just Nintendo.
Yeah. Depending on the pack, let's just assume they go one way or the other. If it is Nintendo characters, if I can just briefly say what I hope, I would like Bandana D because I think we need another Kirby rep. It's been a long time, and Mario has like 1 billion reps, and some franchises don't have a lot. Like I know that like Earthbound hasn't gotten one since Brawl. Captain Falcon has got nobody. Metroid got one. The whole Zelda roster got an entire redesign, so I think they're okay. And Young Link back. So I feel like Kirby's the one that I feel like needs, from the original franchise at least, needs something because it's been so long. But I would like to see Bandana D, or if they want to reuse the model, Marks. But I feel like he's the boss, so it's like they're not going to do that. And Bandana D's far more requested. So Bandana D, I wouldn't mind seeing Dixie Kong or Cranky Kong, like another Kong character. I wouldn't mind seeing someone from Captain Falcon's game, like I don't know, like Black Shadow or even Blood Falcon if they wanted to go like the Dark Samus Echo Fighter route. I'd be fine with that if he's like a slightly slower, not as slow as Ganondorf, but like slightly slower, but way more powerful Captain Falcon or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, what do you think? If they went Nintendo characters, are there any characters that you?
I don't know. Like I feel like it wouldn't, but Bandana D I would love. But I feel like it wouldn't, just because. To us, we see that that will work. But I feel like with all the characters, I feel like Bandana D would be on the bottom.
Yeah.
Rex again, I would love, and we've been we've been
Yeah.
putting up videos for that, and the more I feel like you watch, the more you can also solidify his mindset would be,
What his moveset
or
could
that
be, yeah.
moveset. And plus, we haven't even got to more stuff that would work.
Yeah.
Switching between Pyra, Mithra, and then Final Smash, probably Numa, I would assume. But I think it'd be perfect, and that'd be my dream character to show up. Even above Sora to be probably Rex. Maybe not that far, but
Yeah,
I think Rex would work really well.
I think so too. From what we've seen from what I've seen of Xenoblade Chronicles, he has a lot of moveset potential outside of just slashing. I mean, there's always going to be that mindset of like, oh, another enemy swordsman, but like Rex has got a lot of unique features, and I mean, come on, Shulk's
Another Xenoblade rep would be great.
Why not? Like, let's just you're gonna make people salty with this next. You know, people are already salty with this one. Like, you and me have seen the reaction to Terry Bogard, and it's like, oh my god, really, people, come on.
Yeah, and like we've discussed it. Sakurai was like, I would have loved to put him in, but there wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it's Nintendo only, or like if they put more Nintendo characters, I feel like Rex would be near the top of that list.
Mm-hmm.
And that would make sense. But I'm like, I don't know. It might be third party. We might wait till Smash 6 if that happens. But even then, I'm like, I don't know, because who knows when that game would come out.
Yeah.
So I feel like Rex would fall away from the public consciousness and maybe not show up in Smash 6. I don't know. Maybe he would still. I could still see that happening very easily. So Bandicoot, Rex, I feel like another Fire Emblem character, no matter how much people would hate it, I think would still happen from Three Houses. Again, it's the biggest Fire Emblem ever. Mm-hmm. It's super successful. Before I probably would have said, I think Edelgard is a good chance from that, but I think they would probably put in Byleth, just the route they've been doing. Robin, main character, Corrin, main character, Byleth, the main character. I think the other one, again, Edelgard, if not Byleth, but I could see Byleth because his sword extends really far, so kind of like Corrin, kind of like Richter. I could see that being in the moveset. Plus, I could see having the Edelgard, Claude, and Dimitri colors for Byleth as well. I think if we got more Nintendo, that would also be a bit of a shoo-in.
A shoo-in. Maybe even another Pokemon. But I don't think. I mean, I agree kind of upset to be honest. I mean, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, and I was really happy to see Incineroar in. But from what I've seen of the leaked Final Evolutions, I don't think they have any Smash. I just don't. I mean, maybe the only one I could possibly see getting in is either Sobble's Final Evolution, which is really bad, and Score Bunny's Final Evolution, which is very basic. So I mean,
yeah, like for characters that I think would go in, like Rex. Who else did I say?
You said Rex. You said Byleth.
I can't really think of any other big IPs of Nintendo, like new characters that'd be obvious.
I mean,
that's just in for me.
Yeah.
I just on top of my head right now, I can't.
Yeah, which leads me to think that not only Sakurai's comments, but overall, I think it's safe to say it's going to be a third party.
No,
it just makes sense.
It would be weird to go from all third party then back to just Nintendo. Yeah. But also, who are they going to add in third party? Because me and Blake, when they only had the 3 out, Hero, Joker, and Banjo. Yeah. I think even before Banjo. But we were like, Banjo makes 100% sense.
Yeah.
But we were struggling, except for like Banjo and Heihachi, to think of who they would add in. Because I'm like, like Master Chief, that makes sense. And I think that was all we could think of. It's really hard to think of other characters.
And then when Nintendo put on their website like SNK, I was like, oh yeah, them. That's the first thought in my head. I was like, oh yeah, those guys. And it's funny because they made Metal Slug, which I love Metal Slug. Like that's one of my favorite arcade games. But I was like, oh, that's right, they have characters. Yeah. Like that's the first thought that came to my head. But like then everybody, I remember seeing one specific Twitter where they had a Metal Slug character. They had Terry, they had Ryuo, or like I think they had Ninja Gaiden or something. Like somebody, a ninja who I wasn't familiar with. I couldn't tell if it's Ninja Gaiden because the character looks, he's a ninja.
Yeah.
And someone else that I can't remember, and I was like, I mean, oh no, it was Iori, I think from King of Fighters, and I was like, honestly, I don't know anybody. I'm familiar with the guy with the red the shirt and the hat. Like I've seen him before, but I don't even know the name of the Metal Slug guy.
Yeah, I'm not saying they would scrounge for characters because obviously they'll find like SNK. They'll find some franchise that you go, oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But I feel like, especially the predictions, I think most of them will be like very like unlikely characters. Like people will mention, oh, I want Dante, I want Jill Valentine or Chris Redfield, I want Sora, I want 2B. Those are my 5 predictions. I'm like, we're not getting those. Like, probably not those characters. Yeah. So who else would we get? I don't know. Like, if let's take out our predictions from we got Crash, we got Heihachi, Scorpion possibly.
Yeah, I think. But here's my thing. This is another question I think is posed. Is like, you know, when we were just saying like, you know, it's obviously I don't think they're going to double dip from developers, but I mean, you brought up Resident Evil, you brought up like Devil May Cry, and those are big series. So my question is like, for this second pack, could they double dip and start bringing characters that are just that are iconic for the sake of them, their iconicness, regardless of company? Like, we could see Sora because Square Enix has 2 characters now, and then that's going to be third. I mean, but technically, from what I understand, Sora is not even really a Square Enix character. He's a Disney character. So I mean, and from what I understand, because there was a huge campaign not too super long ago where it was like Sora for Smash, and like people were really excited for that. But from what I heard, it would have to be Nintendo going to Disney and saying, we want Sora and Smash.
Really? Yeah.
That's from what I've heard. And my thing is like, I don't know if Nintendo is like, but here's the thing. I think Nintendo would be fine doing it for fans because Nintendo's shown that they're willing to do whatever. My thing is that I think that as soon as Sakurai walks up to the door, he goes to the top of the building. He's like, I want Sora and Smash. The first thing the Disney executive is going to do is say, what's Smash Brothers?
Yeah. No,
I don't think they even
I don't think necessarily they'll be like, what? No, get out of here. I think they'll either go, what's Smash? Like, why should we care? Like, I don't understand.
Yes.
Or, the most likely, who's Sora?
Yeah.
Why should we care about Sora? Like, is this a thing we do?
That's not a Mickey character.
Yeah.
Like,
what? Huh?
That's exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
It'll be more puzzlement than like, no, get out of this office.
Yeah, I think because I think the bigwigs at Disney are like, number one, they don't do games anymore. They gave all their gaming rights to like EA, and it's like EA can do whatever they want with the Star Wars franchise, and then Marvel is Marvel they give to a like, I mean, they gave Spider-Man they gave Spider-Man to Insomniac, but then Marvel Ultimate Alliance is developed by, I think it's not Chris. Who is it? I don't know who it is anymore actually, because they changed developers.
What's the question?
Who developed Ultimate Alliance 3? I don't remember.
Oh yeah, you're right. I can't remember.
It's a bigger company. Yeah. It's not a bad company. I just don't remember who it is. But so like they just spread it all over the place. So it's like Disney doesn't do games. So like I honestly think if you ask them, hey, how do you feel about putting Sora in Smash? It's gonna be either A, what's Smash Brothers, or B, which makes me laugh hilariously. Who's Sora? Yeah. Like, I just think that's so funny. Like, it's not from Frozen 2. What is this? Like, you know,
like do you think we could get a Resident Evil character? I feel like we wouldn't.
I don't see why not.
I feel like that'd be... Like, I'd be for it. I would 100% be for it. But I feel like... I don't know. I think that'd be a weird choice. Of all the characters, I don't know.
I could like see going, I want Chris... Jill.
I feel like I want Chris Redfield in Smash. Like... Okay. Like... No. Again, I would love it, but it's weird.
Here's my thing. If they did incorporate a Resident Evil character... I think that they wouldn't... I think it would either be Jill or Chris or maybe both, and they just have alternate skins for each other. Kind of like an Olimar and Alf. Or if they wanted to go even crazier, I think they would incorporate Leon and Claire and be like Hero, where they have 4 costumes.
Oh shoot, that'd be
that
cool.
would be hype.
That
right?
would
like
be
that would
hype.
be hype.
Yeah.
I would be hyped for that. And that's what I mean. Like, that excites me, and that's a Capcom character.
Yeah.
I don't care that that's a Capcom character. Yeah. Like, that's my thing. It's like, am I mad that Chun-Li did not get an assist trophy role? No. If Chun-Li was DLC, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. But Resident Evil. That'd be cool.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would be cool.
No, it'd
Like,
be
you know
really
what I mean?
cool.
Like, the idea of that's cool.
I feel like that's... Again, like, I would love the idea, but I feel like it won't happen, though.
And that's my thing, though, is like, that's what was really weird with this next pack of
I feel like
DLC.
you think of all the Capcom franchises they
Yeah.
have, I don't think Resident Evil would be on their top list. I think either Monster Hunter or, like, Dante or someone.
See, that's interesting to me, because I feel like Resident Evil is, to some degree, more iconic than Monster. Like, Resident Evil has a character, or a group of characters that I'm like, oh yeah, Chris Redfield
like,
and Jill
to,
just
like,
makes sense.
Fighting game audience, though? Like,
I mean, they were
I know that doesn't, like,
MVCI.
make a super big difference, but...
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I like Monster Hunter is awesome. Like, I got no issue with Monster Hunter. I think it's a great series. It's been a good series for a while.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a series that's been paired with Nintendo for a very long time. Got no issue with Monster Hunter. It's just like, when I think of like iconic characters, I'm like, and you say Resident Evil, I'm like, oh, Chris Redfield.
No,
I know who that is.
like,
And I've
Resident
never
Evil,
played a game.
that
like,
sounds super exciting to me.
Yeah.
But I think there's way more likely to get Monster Hunter, and
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible, but... Well, it's possible, but I don't think it's likely, but I think Devil May Cry would be higher above that priority
I
list.
could see that too, where like Dante gets in more.
Yeah.
And
See,
I
I'm
also,
like, Dante would be cool, but put my boy Nero in, and I'd be like, yo, that's...
do you think it would be Nero, or do you think it'd be
I
Dante?
think it'd be Dante.
I think
it would.
Do you think
100%.
they would alternate? I
I don't
could
think
see
so.
Nero and Virgil in a stage though.
I could see that.
Like what they did with Fatal
yeah,
Fury. God, the
yeah,
fact that they can do
They
that
have
is
like
so
Nero, Virgil, and Trish Lady as well.
that would be so cool.
Nero, because I think I like Nero a little bit more than Dante personally.
Yeah,
I just love Nero. Dante makes 100% more sense.
yeah, because he's the face of the
he's Devil May Cry.
Nero is super cool. I actually really like Nero too. Do you think they would go with DMC5 robot arm?
Probably,
Nero?
yeah, I think so. I think an alternate might be Devil May Cry 3, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Unless they incorporate Robo Armor into his moveset, then they have to keep it.
Wait, oh, you're talking about Nero?
Yeah, I'm talking about Nero. Dante, I mean, if
Dante and Nero, they would be Devil May Cry
Yeah,
5
yeah.
designs. Yeah.
Okay, I think that would have to be.
Yeah.
See, that's my thing though. Is like, do you think? I don't know. This excites me because it's like I genuinely don't know any more developers like that. Like you can pick that aren't
I know,
that specifically Japanese, because that's mostly where they've taken them from. Microsoft is one of the rarest examples ever, and I mean rare. They're a British developer. The only American characters in there are like other Nintendo, like Dark Samus technically, but Dark Samus was made in a Metroid game,
Yeah.
so it's like Nintendo was like, yeah, you can put Dark Samus in there.
That's why likely it's different for everybody. But I think
Yes.
likely choices, it's hard to think of one other than the ones we said already, like, Crash Heihachi and Master Chief. The rest are like, we hope that'd be awesome, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
and that's the interesting thing. My question is,
I can think of more Nintendo characters that they could put in, but I do think it's more likely third party would be the way they go.
I mean, if we're talking double dipping, I can think of 100 characters.
Oh,
we could
yeah.
put in. Like if we're talking Bandai Namco, Siegfried, Heihachi, you
Yeah.
know, like or Nightmare, or if we're talking Capcom, like we said, Jill Valentine, Dante, Felicia. I mean, I doubt they'll put Felicia. She's way too,
Yeah.
way
If-
too, But Morrigan,
If
maybe,
Mai was too much, then
yeah.
it should be.
But if they put in Bayonetta, then Morrigan can get in. You know what I mean? Like from Darkstalkers or something like that. Things like that. And it's like like Square Enix and even SNK. Like I could be like, yo, throw in
But
some
the
more.
thing is, which of all those are like super likely?
And that's but that comes down to the fact that will they double dip into other companies? Like, or will they, and this is what I kind of hope, just for the sake of seeing different worlds collide, will we see them go into like American and British developed like stuff, other countries?
I could see that.
That's my thing, is like, but then you're picking from a really unique pile.
Like, I could see Sakurai going, heck, why not? Shantae, boom, go in.
And that's what I mean. Like, but that's an indie one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that. Like me, it's like Scorpion. To me, I can picture a moveset. Like I can picture a moveset for Scorpion. But is Scorpion? But does Nintendo really want Scorpion to fight Ryu and Mario and Sonic? And like that's weird. And that's something that like that is cool, but it's weird because that would never happen in any other circumstance ever. It will only happen in Smash Brothers. And it will only happen in Smash Brothers Ultimate. It will not happen again. And so that's my thing. Is like, if we're talking American developed stuff, like you're getting some really like just weird stuff. Like you're looking at like, if we're looking at Sony, you're looking at like Kratos, you're looking at like Ratchet and Clank and stuff like that. And that's what I mean. Like,
there's no way.
Who's left?
Yeah,
like that's the thing. Like who's left?
Who is
like
left?
that's what I mean. Like even the fifth fighter, I'm like I can think of a few ideas. Like I still want Rayman. That would be cool. Please,
but
do not put
is
Ezio.
it likely? I don't know.
I don't know. Like, is Rayman really that popular? Probably not. But the character would be super fun. And Sakurai did say it doesn't matter how iconic the character is necessarily,
Yeah, that was super
or how recognizable they are.
That was funny.
And so I'm like, yo, can we please get Rayman? That'd be hype.
But like, it does play a factor though, like
Yeah.
100%.
And I mean, I think Rayman, and just to rant a little bit, I think Rayman would be super fun. I think Crash Bandicoot would be super fun. It's just like, will they? I don't. And Rayman makes way more sense than Scorpion to me.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Rayman just makes more sense to me. But it's like I don't know. Like my biggest question right now is like, will they double dip into another developer? Like, are we going to go back to Sega and we're going to pull someone out of Sega? But Sega.
Yeah, it's like I have just a chart right behind us, and
Yeah.
for second DLC fighters, it's a big question mark. Like I have no idea.
Yeah, because we don't know what they're doing.
But
like
yeah.
until we see the first fighter.
Yeah, but even if it's third party, like if they said they're all third party, I'd be like, I don't know. Like
Yeah, no, I don't even know. Like
we had an idea, kind of like a lot of them didn't come to fruition, but we all thought, okay, Hero, 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
Banjo, that's very possible.
Yeah.
No one thought Joker, some people hope, but
I didn't think Joker because like from what people like because I was like, number one, Sony exclusive, but I also was like, I mean, I feel like they would put like the most iconic Persona character in there, or like just a Persona.
Yeah, but like we had some thoughts of like again like Hero and Banjo.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought those make sense. Those will probably be in there.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I'm like, I don't know, dude.
Yeah. I mean, there are guidelines to what makes a character, or what can bring a character to Smash Brothers, and those are like, I think Sakurai said like they have to carry some sort of legacy with them,
Yeah.
Like they have to have some history that makes them iconic. They have to be fun to play. They have to be just unique amongst the other fighters. What can they bring to the table that no other character can bring? And so, like, and some people will be like, well, Bayonetta's already in the game. I'm like, well, Dante's got stuff Bayonetta doesn't have. Like, and that would be interesting. Like, it's a different beat-em-up character, Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Scorpion, they could bring things to the table that, Ryu and Ken. And, I mean, we're looking at Terry, who's from a completely different franchise. And even though he has, like, similar, like, inputs as Ryu to get, like, the traditional completely different. Like, that's what I mean. That's the thing is like I don't know if there are any rules anymore, and I need to see number one, who's DLC 5, because for me Banjo and Cloud broke the two biggest rules. Number one, Cloud broke the rule of it doesn't matter who owns the freaking character.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter like if this character's mean
was
to
Banjo the legacy, like doesn't matter how big the legacy is.
Banjo was to me if fans want them, they can get in. If fans say, I want this character more than anyone, which means like Sora, I'm like, shoot, probably. Like, you know what I mean? So for me, it's a matter of like...
But it's also hard to think of the character that predominantly people have been wanting forever. Because the two, well...
Because they're in.
There have been Isaac from Golden Sun, people wanted, but he's,
I don't think there was a huge...
I feel like I've heard about it for a long time.
Yeah, me too.
But like... Banjo and Hero have been, which like the top ones people asked for forever, but now they're in. Mm-hmm. So
and that's the thing is like we have everybody like that's
like you have people who want Sora, you have people who want Chris or Jill, but like there's no one or two characters everybody agrees on that they want.
And that's what because most of them are like that's the thing is I feel like Smash Ultimate did this one weird thing that I don't think ever happened in Smash 4, where it was like it. People were like, I want King K. Rool. King K. Rool's in the game. I want Ridley. Ridley's in the freaking game.
Yep.
I want Banjo-Kazooie. And people were like, they're not going to do this one. Watch these guys. They're not going to do it. Banjo's in the game. And now everybody's kind of sitting here like, oh, shoot. I don't know. Who else do we want? Like, they're just kind of looking around like someone request something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's everyone. Like, you know what I mean? So...
I totally forgot about like those characters because they've been here for a while. But
like I said, Cloud and Banjo broke the two biggest rules that were to me. It's like we don't care if they're from a different region. We don't care who owns them. We don't care how old they are and how long it's been since they've had a game. We don't care. You want these characters, they're in. And so, like, my thing is, like, I don't think there's any more fan, like I want this character, and I've wanted this character for 50 years, or, you know.
I agree.
I don't think they're in there anymore, because they're in there, you know. So, I mean, I guess to, like, wrap this up a little bit, like, I need to see who DLC 5 is, and then I can probably narrow down who I think DLC Pack, who's going to maybe be in DLC Pack 2.
Okay.
Because I need to see who 5 is, because that will obviously take, like, there's a developer, because it's going to be a different developer. Unless for some reason they don't. God, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, that's all I have to say on this.
I don't really have a whole lot to say.
Huge mystery.
I don't have, you know, it's a huge mystery at this point. And I think it's probably the most excited. I can't remember the last time I was excited for this, other than
Last Fighters Pass.
the last Fighters Pass, when it was Smash 4 with Bayonetta. Like, I remember tuning into the final stream, having Corrin show up and be like, oh shoot, okay, well that's cool. I don't mind Corrin or whatever. But then being like, okay, well here's the final character. I'm like, oh my god, what? Like, Bayonetta? Yeah, exactly, Bayonetta. And so that was really cool. And yeah, I mean, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. It'll be a very interesting time when February/January rolls around, and we know who that character is. And we're gonna.
Do you think they will show not even gameplay? Do you think they'll show like a reveal trailer of some sort? That I'm not even saying like, oh, they will. I'm saying, do you think they will
at the next direct?
Yeah, like after the next DLC character is revealed or like released, I guess. Yeah. Like,
oh, you're talking after Fighter 5.
After Fighter 5.
Okay.
Do you think they'll say we're coming like in the future and we'll update you, or do you think they will immediately say, again, we may not even see the model or anything, like Joker, but do you think they will go, this is who's in next? And the next Fighters Pass ends like here. Because I'm not even getting my hopes up, right?
Yeah.
But the way they've been announcing things, I feel like it's a possibility. I feel like they could just like, we may not see it for a while, but here would be the next fighter.
Someone has said that that the way they're releasing them as they are, like within a few months of each other, they're ahead of schedule in terms of development. It seems that way. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But it seems like, because like we got Joker. Joker came out in like August, I think, right? I think it was August.
It was around then, yeah.
Yeah, it was around like the summer, right? So we got him around that summerish period. Not too long after, we got a direct showcasing Hero and Banjo-Kazooie. And then we got Hero. And then we got Banjo. And then we got Terry just a few days ago. So it's been that kind of unique flow. I don't...
Because Joker did take a while to come out.
He did. From his announcement, which was at the Game Awards, which I believe is in January. When is the Game Awards?
Was it March or April? No.
I don't know. It's relatively early in the year.
It is
right?
early. The thing is, I can't remember if Devil May Cry 5 was out yet. I think it might have been.
I'm trying to remember. Hold on. I need to look this up.
Blake is looking it up.
Okay, hold on. Game Awards 2019. When were they? Oh, the Game Awards this year will be at Thursday, December 12th. So I assume... I want to know when it was in 2018.
Actually, shoot. That might make sense.
So that's what...
Smash was out for a little bit, and then they announced... Dang it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, December 6th. Wow, we had to wait a long time for Joker. Because that got announced in December 6th, and we did not get Joker,
when did Joker
until...
Because if... I thought Game Awards... That does make sense.
No, not...
Actually, I thought Game Awards were like in March or something. I thought they're like in March.
April 17th, 2019 is when Joker came out.
So it was a while.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the way time works, man, that's
Okay.
crazy.
Okay. So here's my thing.
We were wrong. We looked it up, though.
Okay. After Smash Brothers DLC, okay. I think we will get an announcement trailer for Character 5 at the next Game Awards. At this Game Awards.
Okay.
And I think after that, we won't get another...
But they would release it in, say, January, February. Do you think we would get an announcement for who's next? That's my question.
I know, and I'm trying to think of the timeline. It depends. Honestly, it kind of depends on how many are in this pack. I assume 5.
Yeah, probably 5.
That's what I'm thinking too. But like, I also, I feel like 5 is the safest number, so I'll assume 5, because they didn't say more or less.
Yeah.
They said 5. I feel like we might have to wait another year because Smash Brothers came out on the 12th of December, and we didn't get. And they announced who Fighters Pass 1 was, but we had to wait a while. I feel like there might be an announcement for the first character. Maybe within that, like, spring period. So maybe
It's like April, May.
If best case scenario, February 2020 rolls around, we got our last character, and then Sakurai's like, I'm gonna introduce you to this character. I'm gonna walk you through legacy stuff like he does usually now, and then at the end of it, he's all like, I want to show you the first trailer for our brand new character. Bada boom, here it is. It's Spyro. I don't know. And then everyone's hyped for it, and he's like, Spyro is in development. It's just an in development trailer, like Terry got.
Yeah.
And he's like, character's not going to come until, I don't know, assuming a 4-month, 5-month development period, or like little thing. Probably like not till summer. And then the rest of the DLC, again, will follow that suit of like April.
No, I think it would be like the same schedule. Like, don't come out till summer. But I'm wondering when. I think they would announce it after the last character is.
Yeah,
released.
I think that's the best case scenario. They could wait. It won't be shorter. It will not be like within the next month or so.
No.
No way.
Because you would assume this DLC was in development when Ultimate was like in the middle or ending.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I think. I think that we'll probably get it within that spring period. Maybe. That's what I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do you have anything else like on that?
That's really all I got on that.
Okay, so you agree with me. So you think around that springish period, most likely.
Yeah. I would assume.
I would hope so, because I don't want to have to wait like a whole 2 years and then Smash DLC, you know?
Yeah.
Like you do for a Soul Calibur character. Oh my god. But yeah, okay, so Smash DLC is shaping up to be probably the wildest ride I've ever been on, even more than Smash 4. Like, this has been a crazy... Because, I mean... It's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be crazy. But anyways, so speaking of fighting games, because Smash Brothers is a fighting game / party game. Mostly a party game, come on.
Yeah, it's a party game.
We wanted to talk a little bit about our hopes, expectations, things that we've seen of Guilty Gear 2020.
Excited.
I know you are. You are way more excited because you've actually played.
Yes.
Would you say you're a big fan of Arc System Works games?
Yes. Yeah.
Just look on your face. Like, yeah.
Well, Blaze Blue, and it's weird, but I love it in its own way. Yeah. Guilty Gear, I haven't put a lot of time into it, but it looks amazing. And yeah, I want to love and get into it. There's the Persona game. It's awesome.
Oh, Arena Ultimax. That's a good game.
Yep. Awesome. When Grand Blue was shown, I was like, I have no idea what Grand Blue is. And I have no connection, but this looks incredible.
Yeah. From what I've seen of Grand Blue, like wow. Like I had no idea it was this big.
Yeah, but
it's
big fan of ours.
Big,
yes.
John got me into them. That's how big a fan he is. He literally got me sold on them. I bought, and of course, Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Easy.
And I mean,
I was like, Blake, you were buying Dragon Ball. Please.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. You told me. I was like, I don't know.
I think I was like, Blake, please buy this game so I have someone to play with.
I was a huge moron, so I was like, I don't know. What if they don't have English voice acting, which was stupid.
And I was like, what are you talking about? Who the frick cares?
Because now I have it in Japanese.
Oh, do you?
I do. I have it in Japanese. Why?
No, I was like, wow.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
But also why?
I forgot to switch it back. I kept it because I was taking a Japanese class at the time, and I was like, I'll just keep it. Oh. And then now I'm like, wow, Japanese Goku sounds cool. Like, so,
I know you said you didn't like Japanese Goku.
I don't like when they do the weird that. Like that. Don't do that.
She is great.
Yeah, no, she is amazing.
She's amazing.
Yeah, no, she's great. She does everybody, like Gohan, Goten, and someone else. But
that's amazing.
Oh, Black Goku. Yeah, she does Black Goku. Gogobot?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Sorry, not
But
Gogobot.
yeah, I was like, Blake, please buy this game so I can play it with someone.
Yeah. So I mean, and then
And then Blaze Blue, like,
Unbirth and
I was like-
I'm sorry, yeah. They developed that game, if I'm not mistaken, right? Under Night?
no, I'm pretty sure.
Did they? I thought they did.
I thought I said that one time. And I thought I was wrong.
Hold on.
I feel like they did. Like Blaze Blue, I got Blake into because I was like, Blake, I have no one to play this game with. Can you get it? Because Blaze Blue was probably the first fighting game I was into, other than, like, after Smash and like Injustice.
Arc Systems.
Yeah, I think because I get confused on like French Bread and like, are they just the producers or do they make it? Because I'm like,
I assume they make it. I think Sega produces it because it says Sega's.
so
name
what's
attached.
French Bread do? Producer?
Probably. I could take a look into
Because
it.
at some point I was like, oh no, Arxis does. And I thought, wait, do they not? Is it just French Bread? But yeah, but I haven't played any. I hope for me and Blake to get Under Night as well when that comes out, the new version, because might as well wait for that one. That looks fun as well.
Oh, they made the Melty Blood series. French Bread.
Makes sense.
Interesting. I'll do more research later, but I don't think they. For now, we'll just assume they did not. They had a hand in it, but they didn't make it.
Arxis?
Yeah.
Or French Bread?
Underbread. I mean,
Underbread. Yeah.
Underbread. Yes. No.
Okay. Okay. We're
Well,
assuming
yeah.
Arxis did not.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just assume
Okay.
that they had a hand in it, which is factual, but they didn't
Yeah.
make it.
Yeah.
We'll just assume that.
Okay.
But anyways, we're a huge fan, and like I've heard of Guilty Gear. I don't know. I heard about it when it started getting like back into its kind of big popularity because of Dragon Ball. Like when Dragon Ball was still making the rounds, people were kind
Yeah.
of,
No. Same.
yeah,
The
like,
same timeline for me and Blake.
But we played Blaze Blue before.
Yeah.
Yeah, before that. I don't know what possessed you and me to buy it.
Well,
Other than I bought it because you told me to buy it. And I was like, yeah, I'll buy it.
was looking at other games and I honestly forget how, like, why that game.
Yeah.
I stumbled across a review of it and I was like, this is really fun. I want to play as that girl with the two guns. That was cool. Hey Blake, can you get this game so we can go play it?
Yeah. And then that's how it all started. We kind of got into that game, and then Dragon Ball came around. We're like, oh, franchise we know. Like, and it looks just as good as everything else. Let's play this bad boy. So.
But when that trailer showed up at Evo and the
Yeah.
two swords in the ground, and I was like, oh my god.
And
Because everybody was like,
Yeah.
we're not getting Guilty Gear for a while because it's
Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
and Exerd was making a big. Rev 2 was like still has a lot of tournament presence. Like a lot of people still really love that game.
But everybody thought, where's Guilty Gear? Is that happening? No? Okay. But I was like, oh my god. And the trailer looked amazing. All the trailers look amazing.
Yeah.
It looks so cool.
And with freaking smell of the game, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this looks cool. So, lately, there has been a lot of they've dropped trailers now, more trailers. So
Every
they
character
showed off,
looks amazing.
So every character they've showed off, which they've shown off about six,
yeah.
I believe which is Soul Bad Guy, Kai Kisuke, is it May?
May, yeah.
May,
No,
and then
I remembered and I forgot. May,
Potemkin,
Chip.
and then Chip, and then who's the last guy with the whips? I forget his name.
Oh, Axel.
Axel, thank you.
Yeah, Axel Lowe.
So they've showed off some really cool characters, some amazing trailers for everybody. But there has been a kind of and they've actually had a gameplay stream where they showcased a lot of the gameplay features and showing off different things. And they had it playable, I believe, at
The playable demo at Arc Revo.
Yes, which I believe was held in Anaheim, which is interesting. But after that, a lot of people on social media, namely Twitter and YouTube, have been kind of like, Guilty Gear, it's different. It's way different. They changed it. Oh no, what'd they do? Because a lot of fighting games nowadays have kind of been making changes to appeal to a more casual audience. And it sometimes works and sometimes it really doesn't. And people just end up getting very, very upset with people.
Also, they have changed Guilty Gear before with XR. Dramatically.
And I think they made it more complex.
Yeah.
Right? They gave it way more depth, which is what people liked about it. People were concerned that they were going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen of it, and I'm not a Guilty Gear expert at all. I just know the characters' names. I know the music's great. And I know the visuals are great. And I also know that like there's some pretty crazy cool stuff you can do. From what I understand, some people are kind of on the fence about it. Like they took some things away. I think I'd have to get out the whole list because someone made a whole list of it. But I heard that there is like auto teching. So in Dragon Ball Fighters, if you hold a button and you push a direction, you get to tech in that direction as soon as the other person's like combo is finished, and you get to kind of choose where you're going. That's not a thing anymore. The game auto techs for you, so you don't need to press a button. You don't need to hold the direction, as far as we're aware, and the game just automatically will get you out of the combo if they drop it or something like that. That's one change among many. I'm not familiar with the rest of them. I know they changed things like burst. They changed, which I don't know even what that does. I know they changed a lot of different mechanics, but I think what I mostly wanted to talk about was... You had a sneeze?
Yeah, I do.
It just looked
it went away. No, it just went away.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It went away. Go on.
But I think what I mostly wanted to talk about is, do you think... Because I've heard Guilty Gear is insanely complex, has a lot of kind of things to it, aspects about it. But I've also heard that the tutorial in that game is probably one of the greatest out there, and it gets you really invested into playing the game. So I think what I wanted to mostly discuss is like, how do you feel about a game that goes from complex to simplified, and do you think that appeals to you more, or do you think that's kind of making you a little concerned about the game, if anything?
Just like in general, or Guilty Gear specifically?
Probably just Guilty Gear specifically, because I feel like every fighting game is going to be a little different. Like if Capcom made Street Fighter 6 like even more complex than Street Fighter 5, people would be very unhappy, I feel, because like Street Fighter 5 is already super simplistic for the most part. There's still some crazy stuff you can do, but
for Guilty Gear, well, this is because some like I haven't played it too much. I do own it. I've tested it out. It is very complex. For a lot of fighting games, I can like pick up for the most part and try something and it works. And obviously not a master, but I can pick it up and play. Guilty Gear is like the one where I haven't been able to do that because there's so many mechanics. They're all like, I forget what some of the mechanics were called even, but it's like I haven't been able to divest my time because I know I have to learn everything and just a lot. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. But for this, I guess for me, I don't mind that they simplify. Obviously, there's a limit to how much they should, because you don't want to get rid of your already existing fan base who love Guilty Gear for what it is. But just, I was saying, I feel like they would know what to do, but you could say Arc Sys, I know like different teams, but you could say, well, Dragon Ball, that was super simplified, and that's the most successful game ever, also because it's Dragon Ball. But I don't mind personally, just because I haven't seen all the changes. I still have to look at all of them. I've seen like a good amount. I feel like there is still that complexity to it from what I've seen. Like I don't think it's just, oh, they've dropped everything and now it's just like super, super simplified. I think it is simplified from Rev 2, but again, that's like the most complex fighting game I've ever played. So I think they will find a way to make it complex, like simple, but still really complex, where if you spend a lot of time with it, you will find extra things to do. Because no matter how much simplified you make a fighting game, people will find new ways to do crazy stuff with it. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel on the Guilty Gear thing myself, I guess. Yeah, I'm not too worried because I think they will, as I hope, find a good balance with it.
Yeah, my hope is that they definitely take the feedback and run with it. They make something of it. My fear is that they don't do that. Instead of doing that, they say like, well, because I know a lot of from what I've seen, the only issue I have with the game is the interface as of right now, the UI.
Yeah, the UI looks very basic. Yeah, especially looking on Rev 2. Yes. Oh my god. Yeah, but I think it's probably still not very early, but still in the middle.
And that's my hope. Yeah. My hope is that this is actually very early. You know, like this is still early enough to where they can make those adjustments and change. Yeah. Where they can make those changes and adjustments and make the interface more, not just visually appealing, but also more functional. Like I just feel like, you know, it works obviously, but it just goes against like very like basic fighting game things. Like I don't like the icon draining with the meter. I don't know how I feel about the huge combo numbers behind the characters, because like when you get a combo, you know how you get a little combo thing. In this game, it's like a huge number that takes up like half the screen. It's transparent, so you can see through it, but like the outlines are there, and it's like, I don't know how I feel about that. It kind of just, the smaller numbers were fine. I don't really care how much, like, like how many hits I'm scoring. I mostly care that I'm doing a combo. And I don't know, some of these changes are just a little weird. I've also heard that like there's a itty bitty bar right under the icon that's actually tied to a really important mechanic, and people are like, why is it so small? So I mean, I don't know. I hope that they just adjust the change from somebody who has like touched Guilty Gear once in his lifetime and was terrible at it because he didn't understand it. I am interested in seeing what they do to kind of take these criticisms, these judgments, and like what they do in response. Because people ask them things about like rollback netcode. Like apparently their entire chat was like filled with like, hey, rollback netcode, what are you gonna do about it? And they said they had a comment that was really concerning to people who are like huge on rollback netcode. And they said something like, we can't comment on it this time. And someone was like, spoiler alert, there's no rollback netcode. And I mean, like, I don't know. I've never played a game with rollback netcode, so I can't say what it's like. At least not online. But I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned about the game. I'm actually really excited for it because it has a lot of really cool characters and a lot of really cool visuals. I'm a fan of the wall break mechanic where it's like you kick them through the end of the screen and they go to the next one, which is it's a little weird because on one hand visually it looks really cool. It sounds like a really cool mechanic to like kind of get back to neutral. However, it does kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Like it kind of not discourages, but it's like it kind of just makes wall combos a little more obsolete because you can't carry it forever anymore unless you just keep them straight up and keep them away from the wall. So a little weird. It seems that they're emphasizing a very neutral heavy game.
So I'll say neutral.
Yeah, which is fine. Nothing wrong with it, but that I can definitely see how they can shake some what am I saying? Trees or something like that. There's a saying with that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It can definitely like make people a little concerned, a little worried. But I'm still very excited for the game. You haven't lost me, who's a prospective buyer, so I'm definitely still interested. And I can't wait to see what becomes of the game. So I mean, we don't have a release date, so that's a good thing, I'd say, for the amount of time that they need to make changes and stuff. So yeah.
I can see it going either way. Like I'm thinking it'd be hard to mess it up. Well, again, like Dragon Ball FighterZ feedback, they might put that in consideration.
Yeah.
So it's hard to see where they will go with it, how much they're gonna try to simplify, or how complex they want it to be.
Yeah.
It's really too early to tell, I think.
Yes, and that's the good news. Is like it's too early to give a final judgment on it, so that's good.
Yeah, because it does look still like a rough, like early development.
Yeah. And that's good to see. It's good to see that like this is still early enough so we can make some changes, so that's really good. But I'm still really excited for it. I mean, I'm excited to see like where they take it, like what they do with it. And I hope they can keep that complexity because I'm fine with complex mechanics as long as they show me what they do. As long as I hope the tutorial is just as good as Exard or Rev 2, because I've heard that tutorial is almost as perfect as you can get. And I hope they keep that. So I think that's really all I have to say about Guilty Gear 2020 other than the music is so good. Like Smell of the Game, if you have not listened to that song and you like some hardcore stuff, listen to that song. It's really good and it makes me very excited to play the game. The visuals, absolutely incredible. I'm really excited. I'm still really excited for this game.
I agree.
This might end up being my most anticipated fighter of the next year. Because I can't even think of any other fighters coming out that year, so.
Under Night, Grand Blue.
Under Night, yeah, Under Night's up there, but I know next to nothing about Under Night other than Linnea's theme is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Because Linnea's theme is
like Grand Blue also.
Granblue.
Possible League fighting game. We don't know when that will come out.
That'll probably. From what I've heard, that game is in alpha.
Well, yeah.
Which means it's like, oh man, they are just starting this project.
Yeah.
So I think that we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, that's why I said maybe. Like,
yeah. But overall, I think that's kind of all we wanted to talk about overall.
Did you want to mention Pokemon?
Is it worth mentioning?
I mean, I don't have anything to say. Like, even last time I didn't have much to say.
I mean, like I said in the previous podcast, which, I said, like, we talked about, the Pokemon that are missing, obviously, and, like, how weird it is. But, like, now they've announced just a bunch of different features. Like, for example, they announced no more XP share. You can't, like, no, it's there, but you cannot turn it off. Like, you have the experience share, cool, but you can't turn it off. But then, on the other hand, they also say that you can change natures with mints, right? So if your Pokemon has a nature you don't like, you feed it a mint, and it gets the nature you want it to have. That's a good change, They say games going forward are always going to have a limited Pokedex. They're not ever going to bring back the National Dex, apparently, which is a horrible, bad change, right? But then they say something like, oh, well, HMs are gone, and, wild areas, and EVs are gone. And it's like, oh, and so my question now is just like, I just want to know, like, what is this game trying to do? Is it trying to simplify Pokemon? Because Pokemon was already really simple to begin with. And it's like, I don't mind the changes that say, like, hey, you don't have to breed for 10 years if you want to get that nature. But, I mean, you already didn't have to if you had the right items. But even that can be time-consuming and whatnot. But that's my only real concern is, like, I just want to know, like, what is this game doing? Like, what's going on here? So, I mean, also some of the designs for some Pokemon look just plain bad. Like, I'm genuinely shocked that some of them, like, you have Pokemon like Wooloo that are great, Corviknight, which is awesome. Like, all the new Galar Pokemon look hype. They don't look bad, but some of them, like the final evolutions for the starters, yikes! Like, it just look bad.
Have we seen Score Bunnies yet?
Yes.
Oh, we have
seen Score Bunnies.
Oh, what's it look like?
I could pull it up for you.
Okay, Blaze could pull it up.
It's not even, I don't know. I don't like it. It just looks like too humanoid for me.
From someone who thought Grookey looked amazing and I couldn't wait to see what it would turn into, I'm like, oh, that's disappointing. Like, is it a bad design? Probably not, but I'm like, I was expecting more.
It's not too bad. So I'm going to show you the middle and the second evolution. And the second evolution and the final evolution.
Okay.
So it's not horrible.
No.
It's not, like, absolutely offensive like the other two. Or
Yeah.
specifically Sobble's.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's the most basic kind of design you can possibly get. To me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it just feels so, like,
I don't know.
oh.
Yeah, it's
that's
weird.
it.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, the types don't change. They're just stay grass,
they
stay water, they stay fire, and that's it. And it's like they haven't done solo types.
I guess I expected worse for Score Bunny, like the moment I saw this thing. But I don't know.
Like, that's the thing. Like, Score Bunny's second evolution, alright. Sobble's second evolution, alright. And it's like, then the finals happen.
Well,
and it's
even Grookey, I'm like, alright.
Yeah, Grookey's is fine. He's just got 2 sticks.
Yeah.
But, like, man, the finals are just like, I don't get the evolution of monkey with stick to monkey with big, huge wooden drum. Like, I never, like, people thought, I just never understood the concept of, like, what's the theme here? Because, like, Gen 6 had a theme. No, like for all of them. Because, like, Generation 6 had a theme. You had the RPG party. So you had a wizard, you had a thief, and a knight, right? That was cool. Like,
for
that's
6?
Yeah, for Generation 6. Chestnut was the knight. Greninja was the thief,
okay.
and then
that makes sense. Cool.
Delphox was the wizard. Super cool, right? And then for Generation 7, they kind of had a loose theme with performers, I think. You had Primarina, who was the opera singer. You had Incineroar, who was the wrestler, so a performer. You had Decidueye is a little weird one. I think he's supposed to be like an archery expert, like a sharpshooter. So I guess kind of performer, but not.
I was thinking like a gamer.
That's what that's what I kind of think. But like this one, I don't get it. Like you have performer, athlete, and spy. What? Like you have drummer, you have spy because Intel is in his name. I think I forget his name, but I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like Intel Eptile or something like that. It's a weird name. And then Score Bunny, who's supposed to be obviously a soccer player. It's like, what's the theme here? Just Britain? Stuff Britain made? Like the drum? What's the drum? Like, it's just, I just don't get it. Like, why couldn't he just have been like monkey with big sword, like a knight monkey? Like I know they already did the knight motif with Chestnut, but Chestnut's more like just a bulky thing. Like I would have been cool if like he had a giant wooden like sword kind of thing. And I like the spy motif. I just think the way they went about it, just number one, why Sobble? Like Sobble starts off as being like, that's weird, I'm so nervous, I'm scared.
Oh, now he's confident,
and now he's like, the name's Sobble, like James Sobble or something. It's like, what? Why? He was so nervous to begin with, and then he gets emo in the second one, and it's like, where is this going? It feels like you guys had a motif, but you didn't design backwards. You designed or you didn't design forwards. You designed like. In a weird order, yeah. It's like you designed the final evolution first, and you're like, well, how does he get there? And it's like, well, we have to make the starters cute. And it's like, all right, we have to go completely against what they are. And it's like, okay, I don't know. I just feel like you could have gotten more unique, and I think that's what's most disappointing. And I don't know. From the more I learn about the game, the more I'm not mad anymore. I'm just confused. Like, I just don't get who is this game trying to appeal to? Because it's not appealing to longtime fans, because they'd probably already left being like, they found a better game, like an RPG, like Persona 5 has that friendship element where it's way more incorporated into the gameplay. And I mean, I don't think another game out there who has that catching mechanic and that simplistic battling. I mean, the simplistic battling stuff is in a lot of RPGs, so that's not hard to find. But I think the capturing mechanic is unique. But I don't know. I don't have anything really to say other than I'm just so confused as to what this game's trying. Like, who is it trying to reach? Because new players are the only people I can think of where it's like, oh, brand new Pokemon game, but your favorite from yesteryear. Like, Psyduck and Jigglypuff aren't even in the game. You know? And those are like long time. Like Bulbasaur and Squirtle. Like, old Pokemon fans who picked up Pokemon Go are not going to be all like, man, am I so happy that all these new Pokemon are here to change my perception of the Pokemon world? Like, no. They're going to be like, where's Squirtle? That's not a Squirtle. Like,
that's not a Squirtle.
Well, actually, like, they don't, you know what I mean? Like every casual, like, I'm talking filthy casual. Like, I'm talking, like, poor as Oliver Twist casual, right? Like, just disgusting. Like, everyone that I talk to, they know, like, I know Squirtle, I know Pikachu, I know Eevee. Like, rare is it that they know Eevee. Yeah. Like, Eevee, Mewtwo, Charizard, and that's like it. Like those are, like, the big ones, right? They can name maybe 5, maybe 10. Uh-huh. And it's like, they're not going to look at this game and be all like, oh, man, new Pokemon. Like, Nobody really gets excited for new Pokemon anymore. Like old casual fans, like we do. I'm excited for the new Pokemon. Like Corviknight is still sick, even regardless of my feelings. Like I love the way that Pokemon looks. And apparently he's huge, but like I just don't think casuals, like filthy casuals, get excited for new Pokemon because it's like, who cares, you know? So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing this game release and then seeing what happens, like how it's received critically, how it's received financially, and beyond that, I just want to know, like, I want someone to break down who is this game trying to appeal to, because it's not working for me, and I'm a huge Pokemon fan. Mm-hmm. So that's all I really wanted to say about it. Is like I'm just curious.
I would say I probably won't pick. I've been thinking about it, obviously since the controversy happened with the Pokemon was announced but I've been thinking I probably won't pick this one up because Gen 5 obviously still my favorite one, but like Gen 6, I've talked about it. It's really disappointing for me. I thought too much. Looking back at the old stuff rather than new stuff. Gen 7, it was. I like Gen 7. I think it's a good game, but I think like for me Gen 7 it was advertised as such a big step forward, and there were steps forward, but not I think as much as they advertised. I think a lot for me a lot of it was kind of there was stuff pushed forward, but a lot of it was just kind of repackaged to look different. Like, okay, well, totem Pokemon are not gyms, but they serve the same purpose. And I'm like, okay. So that was kind of like, I wish there was a bigger jump. And then Let's Go happened, and I got bored. I played the first 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, they've said, well, that's for these casual fans. Like, that's what they want. But Gen 8, that's what you're looking forward to. Like, okay. And Gen 8, there are some innovations for, Pokemon, but, not as much as I would like to see. And, again, with all the Pokemon stuff, and you also said that some stuff is progressing, but some stuff is really weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's giving me enough reason to go out and get it, I would say. Yeah. Over Gen 7, Gen 5, any of the other gens. I'm like, you said it's in a weird place. And I don't know. It doesn't look super appealing to me, I guess.
Yeah.
Nothing's drawing me in.
Nothing's drawing me in. I mean, new Pokemon are great, but man, and you know what's really weird is Pokemon is slowly Pokemon's kind of becoming more obsolete because there's different ways you can get the same experience. Like if you like battling, Pokemon Showdown. It's maybe it's not the best, but it's an option. And it's you don't have to go through the crazy trouble of having to catch, breed, and breed again and shiny and breed again.
Also comparing to other RPGs, maybe that's not fair to some people, but you look at Persona 5, which did a lot of that, in terms of its UI and in terms of its mechanics, and people really bought into that. A bunch of newcomers were like, "This is amazing." Dragon Quest 11, I haven't played it yet. I know me and Blake have said we want to play it. From what we hear, a lot of cool stuff has been brought into that game, and it's so amazing on PS4 and Switch.
Can I note the fact that I actually physically said I want to buy Dragon Quest 11 because it looks so good. I want to buy a JRPG, and I'm back in my old days. It was Pokemon or nothing.
That's a good point.
In terms of RPGs, but now I bought Persona 5, and I think that game's awesome. I want to buy Dragon Quest 11 because I think that game looks awesome.
You have so many RPG series that look like they're progressing, and okay. Because a lot of people, I've heard a lot of things PS3 era JRPGs, they weren't progressing. That's why there was kind of a downfall of JRPG quality in that time. But PS4, especially now, they've been doing that a lot more. You look at even Tales, I forget the Tales of Arise, is that the new one? I can't remember. Tales has had the same engine forever. They haven't really changed it. That was a big complaint with the Tales of Berseria. People liked it, but people said, okay, well, let's move on with something bigger. And you look at Tales of Arise, that looks bigger. The engine is gorgeous. Mm-hmm. The gameplay looks very different in a good way, though. I'm okay, this looks something I want to play because it's changing. It's doing more than I would expect. Yeah.
And that's the crazy part is Pokemon's just slowly becoming obsolete because now it's not even really a JRPG. There's RPG elements now, but it's so simple. Now where it's water beats fire, and it's water will always beat fire. It's just so there's just so many different alternatives to.
But also the structure of each game's the same too. You get a fire, grass, water. You start in a bug area, then you go to this area. Yeah. It's changed slightly, but the format of each game is the same.
Yeah, and that's the part that I think is really kind of sad is the fact that Pokemon has been around since the 90s, early 2000s, and it's it hasn't done a whole lot to really especially now, since it has no excuse being on a home console charging $20 more than it did for the last game. and still doing nothing to really like get people back. Like, and that's the thing is, like I said, Pokemon Showdown, if you like the battles, if you like breeding, there's like, I don't know, you have a ton of other games where like that's a mechanic where it's like getting the right pairs and like, you know, like Stardew Valley and like farming simulators and things like that. It's just like Pokemon now is like there's no real reason to pick this game up. Like there's nothing like the Gigantamaxing, it's just a less appealing way of like it's just less visually appealing than Mega Evolutions or Z moves. It's just like we didn't want to make special animations, but here's some special models for like 5 Pokemon. You can do the same thing with everybody else.
I think the way to guess summarize what you've been saying is that Pokemon has not been growing with its audience. Because like you said, the people who like Pokemon, like us back in the day, we can find that kind of thing, other than the catching, in other games.
Yeah.
But we can't, the expansion of those ideas can't really be found in Pokemon.
Yeah. It's just like, I really like this, and I wish, like, I can't think of a single generation where I've ever been like, I really want them to take this idea and boost it up. Like, I don't know, like Generation 7, for example, like, I liked riding Pokemon. I thought that was really cool. They're not doing that again. They said, ride Pokemon are gone, here's your freaking bike back. Huh. And it's like, your bike can just do everything now. It's like, oh, why'd you bring the bike back? Who cares? Riding Pokemon is more interesting. Like, visually. Just visually, it's like, it's more interesting to hop on Rhydon or Rhyhorn or Tauros or any rideable Pokemon.
You might gotta do extra animations, though.
But that's what I mean, though. Like, we just made the bike. Here's the bike. And it's like, I mean, like, that's it. Like, how does it feel like I can't believe I'm going to say this. Uh-oh. It feels like Pokemon Let's Go has more, like, effort put into, like, its overall, like, it wants you to, like, really have fun. Like, the fact that Pokemon follow you. People have been asking for that game, like, for that feature to come back. And it's a small feature, right? Like, it's not a big...
I never understood why that.
It's not a big feature. It's not hard to do. You guys literally, like, Generation 1. Freaking the Pokemon Yellow, it's just Pikachu's sprite. It's just Pikachu's box sprite following the character sprite. And then in Heart Gold, Soul Silver, yes, you had to sit there and make extra sprites for every character, for every Pokemon in the game. But how cool was it when you caught Lugia or Ho-Oh, and you're walking back to your hometown, and you're like, yo... That's right. I got Ho-Oh. What are you going to do about it? Right? Like, that's cool. When was the last time they did that? They didn't do it. And even though they have all the running animations, all the walking animations were found in Sun and Moon, they didn't use them. And it's like, why? You guys, I just don't understand it. It eats up development time. These guys, the games aren't changing. Like, what do you... It's just funny to me, you know? But, like, I will say this, and this does raise some concern for me, because I think it's going to happen eventually, because Pokemon always does this. Gen 4 remakes.
Yeah.
If they remake Gen 4, and they do it well enough, I would not mind buying those games. But, if they stick in something stupid, or if they say... I mean, I already know it's not going to have all the Pokemon in it. Like, it's going to have...
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
Well, that's what I mean. It's going to have all the Gen 4 Pokemon, because it has to.
Yeah.
And then it's going to have, I don't know, maybe some Gen 3, maybe a little bit Gen 2, and mostly Gen 1.
Yeah.
Whoever was missing from, you know, whatever. And then they're going to be able to kind of make this ecosystem where, oh, well, you have to buy Pokemon Home so you can transfer those Pokemon to Pokemon... you know, Sun and Moon or whatever, or from Sword and Shield into your new game. And it's going to be the same system that they had ever since, where it's like you transfer up, but you can't transfer back. You transfer up, but you can't transfer back. Transfer up. And it's like, how have we not reached a different point now, you know, where like my Pokemon can just be anywhere in any game? I don't know. It's weird, and I think that's really all I have to say is I just can't wait to find out what this game became, you know, because it's so weird, and I don't understand where, like, who was this game for? So I didn't mean to rant on for so long. That was actually a side topic. I did not expect to rant on for so long, but overall I think that's probably going to do it for this podcast, right?
Yeah,
because I think we're good. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening to us rant, to listening to us get excited about Smash DLC, listening to us get excited for Guilty Gear, and listening to us get a little depressed over Pokemon. If you guys want to check out Jonathan's stream, again, he's running through all the Resident Evil games. He's playing some hype gameplay, 100% no damage walkthroughs if you guys are interested. He's not doing that. I'm just joking.
I was like, what?
But
Am I?
But they've been incredibly exciting. I'm in the chat, so you guys should totally come down and check them out. Some awesome gameplay, some awesome games. And with all that said, thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.